Good morning, everybody. It is just about 9 o'clock. Just getting started. I am recording this morning and I've just muted everyone. For some reason, it didn't come on automatically. Of course, if you have a question or you want to ask something, then do feel free to unmute yourself and fire away as always. I thought we'd do a bit of an educational this morning. I'm not sure that it's necessary, but I do think that we've missed out, or some people certainly have missed out on you know, obviously the notes and the learning, or we wouldn't have the questions that we do get sometimes. I wanted to go through first the new times for the new year. 9 till 10 on a Tuesday will be a kind of a lesson, and then I'll stop the recording, but we'll carry on the webinar till about 11:30 for trading, and then I want to do ideally 1830 to 2000 hours trading. Wednesday 1800 to 1900 only. It'll be a stock trade club, and what I thought was we'd look at this layout, and I have already selected down here about 25 individual shares that we look at: Vodafone, Visa, Tesla, Shell, Pfizer, Nvidia, Netflix, Microsoft, so on, all the way up there: Allianz, Apple, Amazon, Airbus. So there's 25 shares there, but obviously that's open to input from the group. If someone has a specific one, we're going to add that in and we're going to have a look at it. And then on a Thursday, we'll do 1830 to 2000. And we might, of course, fire in a Wednesday or a Thursday morning as a sort of an impromptu morning trading session as well. And we'll see on that. It's just how time and how things affect us. Then I wanted to talk today a little bit about ribboning in trading, and why and what does it mean. Well, we used to ribbon a series of EMAs, and since we're looking at learning, I thought today I'd look at ribboning for you a series of super trends. I let that picture there sink in for a moment. I think it's pretty obvious what you're looking at, but I'll mess with them just now, and we'll talk about what they show you. In fact, I'll put the settings on there. We've 9 ribbons, and the reason for it is, I'm constantly trying to learn things, and I keep seeing that someone is promoting what's it called? A cloud from an Ichimoku with super trend and they're doing it with what bars? With Reiki bars. I've forgotten the type of bars, how you say that. Renko bars. And you all know I like Renko bars. They work nicely on C Trader with the indicators. However, on here, they don't work too well in fact, they don't work at all with indicators. So what have I got? I've got our 13 and our 1. I've got an 8 and a 1, a 5 and a 1, and they're all the green lines there. Then I've got a 21, 34 and 55 and 1.25. Now this is obviously open to being messed with, and they're all the blue up and orange down trend. And then I've got 89, 144 and 233 all at 1.5, and they're all purple and pink, our usual 55 and 144 settings EMAs. Now, when they're tracking, as in when they're all the same color and they're all, heading up, there's no range, obviously. When there is a gap between one and other and price is in the gap, then there is range. No gap, 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 range. When price is above them all, obviously you can buy. When price is below them all, I'd say it's pretty obvious that you could be in a sell. And I've added on there a PSAR for 2 reasons. One, it could be obviously your stop loss, which will give you your target, and also it will give you these wonderful, well, I've gone green but I haven't flipped yet, now I've flipped, yeah, okay, that's a losing trade. Where I saw a good one was there. You see the PSAR flipped back, messed, and then there he goes there was another good one. I looked between 7 and 8. There you go, between 7 and 8. There, we've all gone green. Now the PSA's flipped. He holds you in and he's good. Now, obviously, you get a speed bump at 8 o'clock, so I'm not going to apologise for that. It happens. But if we look at that time between 7 and 8 and we go from all the PSA trades and we say, okay, I have a stop loss of 3 pips, so I'd have a target for 6, and I'm out effectively up here for 7. Fair enough. Then I'm in a trade, the PSR flips, and it's all gone. The close is a bit wonky there, so we're going to go from him on the close. The stop loss of 4, target of 8, and you haven't got it, but you're out for 3. What was that then? I forgot what you were. You were a 7 and 3. So you're on 10 pips and you're in a buy from the PSAR flip. Obviously, the close of that bar, 10 pips and 16 pips. And the PSAR doesn't flip, so you can't have that one. The PSAR doesn't flip. So you could have that one and you might get a break even off that one. The PSAR has flipped, you could have that one. Now, of course, you can add in a MACD and you could factor in the MACD and it would complicate things. For some of you it would be brilliant, and for some of you it would be a bloody disaster. It depends on you and whether or not you ever bothered to do any of the homework I set you. Which really was about understanding what each indicator is trying to tell you. Are you seeing, or did you see divergence? Did you see the rejection of a line? If you can't see either of those things, and remember, Anthony's very kindly pointed out that only recently he started getting the hang of divergence. I get it, that's fine. But if we look here, look, higher highs, lower highs, what can you do? Lock in tighter, and so you're out on the flip of the PSAR. And you've made some money off that trade. If we look at that one, what would that one have made you? You're in from the continuation there, the PSAR never flip, but that's continuation. Off you go, PSAR flip, 20 pips. I'll take 20 pips all day. Nothing wrong with it. And bear in mind that 50 pips a day will make you quite phenomenally. You can, of course, Bob, wealthy. There you go. Same indicators on the Dow. There's the Dow. No difference in the story there. So you're waiting. PSAR flip and you're in, because you must wait for them all to agree. On the flip of the PSAR, you've got higher lows, but you don't have a green MACD, but that line is above 0, so I'd say yes, you can have him, because that means it's bullish at least. Stop loss there is 20 pips, you're looking for 40, and you've just about got that, or worst case scenario, you're out for 30. Sound fair? On that one, Bob. And on this one, yeah, remember the line's bullish, so if you take that one, it's against trend and you're out with a -6. I'll give you the -6, no problem. This one here, yes, you're allowed him. PSAR flip. I'd say you're still in there, because there you've gone green and everything, so worst case scenario, you're out for 30 pips. Here, what have you got? You've got well, you end up with a hopper and everything on that one. PSAR flip. You're looking at to 30 pips. There it is. I like it's basically what I would call a ribbon or a cloud, if you like, because you can increase the gap between these things by increasing the number, and you know it. Now we go back to this thing here, which is our sort of simple 6 layout. We're looking at 6 different markets, and by request, I think he is on Adam. I think it was Adam who said he'd rather have a GB dollar than a dollar yen. I decided I hadn't traded the dollar yen neither, so I put the GB dollar back in the mix for the 6. And there you go. And now we do have a kind of a ribbon on here. Look, we've 2 super trends, and we've the higher time frame. As you all do know, I do have the higher time frame. I was going to say the high frame. The higher time frame. There it is. 3 lots of 3 minutes on the indices, 3 lots of 5 minutes on the currencies, and note the currencies are 2 minutes at the bottom right there. Could we look at a NAS chart? We can, of course, David. Let me just put that back. You mean on this ribbon type thingy here, David? I imagine you do. I'm going to say, yeah, NAS. There you go. NAS. And there you go. There's a NAS. Is it a problem? No. But remember, guys, I'm not really showing you anything you didn't know here. Ideally, I'm not showing you anything new. All the numbers are fib numbers. Every single number there on there is a fib number. What I'm trying to show you really is discipline. Discipline makes the difference. If you factor in, well, oh, that's green, I'm not allowed to sell it. That's the dot, I'm not allowed still be in a sell. Some people will still be in a sell there because they took a sell and, oh, but look at that angle, it's surely going to come back. It's surely going to come back at some stage. And people hold on to that as a sell, don't they? There's one person amongst you I'm looking at, and he might not anymore, but he used to do exactly that. He'd hold on to that and think, it'll come back, it'll come back, it'll come back. There you go. Yes, boss, he's answered it for us. There are those people amongst us in the group. There are those people out there as traders generally. And if we're going to do that, we're going to get burned, torched, eaten a bloody live. That's the reality. It is what it is. And when we analyze this, look, people sold that thinking, oh, that's the NAS. Yeah, okay. Now, so you've got higher lows over lower lows, lower lows, higher lows. Absolutely. You're waiting for a buy. You're absolutely waiting for a buy. Do you take that one? Maybe. Do you take that one? There. Definitely, yes. And are you pleased with it? Not straight away, no. But so what? And then you are eventually. Sometimes you need to wait. The markets are designed to take money away from the impatient and give it to the patient. That's the reality of what it does. And if you'd held on to this one, look, you've got a continuation buy right there, absolutely continuation buy. And straight away while you're in that continuation buy, HH over LH, and you're thinking, oh my word, I need to lock in. So you're locking in and you're not getting torched, are you? In fairness, you see there, I'd probably be already out of that one because it broke below a previous low, and then I'd be drawing a fib to see if I'm going back in. Where's my fib? Here's my fib, and I'd go green, 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 red. Have you stayed above the 38.2? Yes, you have. Okay, so now you need to breach that and give me a bullish reason to get out. That's it, because there's no way I'm going to let a profitable trade go against me when I don't have to. Other analysis I wanted to do today, and how do you use the MACD in this setup? In all the usual ways, Dave. I don't know how well you've kept up with everything. You have to remember Dave's never done a full course with me, so I don't know how well he's kept up. But we'd be using the hopper. Where is the hopper? There is the hopper. So now it's bullish, and yes, we would prefer to take buy trades, and we would be less interested in sell trades. We would take them, but they are reverse trigger. That's an RT, a reverse trigger trade. So we take that one. Yeah, it's red, red. So we take that one. But we wouldn't be expecting as much from it as we would the buy trades. That's how we use. Okay, well, we're happy then. And Peter Nightingale's videos, they're the important ones. And divergence isn't from Jennifer, I believe it's all from mine. And as soon as we see the higher lows, remember we're looking at Elder's divergence as well as James's divergence. There we need to see a higher low, and then we know, yes, there was divergence. I'm sorry, I bounced that chart right there. Then we're laughing. But you see the way the line here only kisses off the zero. It never gave a hopper. As soon as it goes green here. You get ready, you aim, you fire, you're in the buy from as soon as they're all above. So he's your pigeon, you're in the buy from him. And let's see, you can go from his close. I want one of them. You can go from his close, you're in the buy from him, and okay, if you waited for him, I don't mind, but if you're in from him, doesn't really matter, whichever one. It hasn't really gone very far. What are we looking at? 2 pips. Great. So you're in the buy, and you've got 17, 18 pips on the table. I'm going to say 15 to be sure on that one. So there's no real or sensible reason why you should be getting caught out at all, other than discipline. So many people, and Dave, you're one of them, you sent me a picture that said, hey, look at that, it's a signal, and then immediately it goes against me. But all the higher value EMAs were below the price, and yeah, it bounced off one of them and went north. And you said that was a lesser signal. I hope you read my message to you. I said, how was it lesser? It was with trend. How would you buy after a high test? A break above the high test? Show me where you mean You mean that one? How would you buy after a high test? It's a 1 minute chart, Michael. How much weight are you going to put on a high test 1 minute bar? I'd put more weight on a 4 hour high test bar, but that ain't no 4 hour high test bar, is it? It's a 1 minute one. So I would buy that, yes. And if I didn't buy that, I'd be buying there on the break of its high. That's the reality. And what have I missed out on? 2 or 3 pips. That's it. I would buy that. Remember, I don't know how many times I've said it, but I'll say it again. Indicators first and foremost. Levels, support and resistance, second. Fibs, third. Sound fair? Indicators are first and foremost. Did it go green? Yeah. Did all them agree with it? Yeah. What's the problem? Why are you waiting? You're going to wait, aren't you? It's just what you do. That's where the absence of discipline comes in. People wait, people mess, people think, oh, it'll this, oh, it'll that. I don't know what it'll do next, so I just do what the indicators tell me to do. I've no idea what it'll bloody well do next, but I know that there is a high probability that after bouncing off a 55 EMA with some level of divergence, okay, there isn't here, is there on the 5 minute? Yes, there is. There's higher lows over little lower lows, 3 minute that is. Yeah, there's a high probability it's going to go back up. Are we in an uptrend? Yeah, we're in an uptrend. Did we stay above R3 on that footsie? Yeah, we did. So there's a very high probability that we're going north after rejecting the 55 EMA right there. It ain't rocket science at all. Have we got higher lows over lower lows? Well, yes, we do. And what? And is the green line still, or is the line basically still above zero? Yes, it is. So are we bullish on that market? Yes, we are. So weren't we expecting this? What's our problem then, really? We shouldn't have one, is the reality and the realistic sort of scenario here. But people think, oh, it's a sell signal, it's going to go 50 pips, and then it touches off a higher value EMA, which is in, bull territory anyway, and buy markets anyway, and then you wonder why it goes against you. And you know who I'm talking to, I think you do. Let's look at the high term, what's he called, the higher time frame Dow for a moment, because I wanted to show you that yes, we have broken now below that trend line which I drew, but what do I say? Indicators first. And what is that thick white line there? It's an indicator, isn't it? Which one is it? It's the middle Bollinger. Have we gone below that? No. What does that mean? Well, it still means we're basically allowed by the damn thing. Indicators first and foremost. And does that prove my point enough for you? Do I need make it thicker? I don't know. Possibly, probably. I have no idea what I need to make you see indicators first and foremost. We are above a middle Bollinger. It's still bullish. That's it. It's still bullish. Even if it broke my trend line, all I can do with that now is say, well, you're not really any good to me anymore. You're a goner. But that line and that line are still being respected. That one's being elevator tested, isn't it? We're really struggling with that line right there. Fine, but we're not. There's no dispute here. We have remained above a middle Bollinger, and we are in the range channel. So what does that mean for the Dow? It means it's rangy. We're in the range channel. What else could it mean? We're in the range channel. It's couldn't be clearer. We're right below that dark blue line. We're above that dark blue line. We're above the middle Bollinger. We're in the range channel and all. No doubts, issues, nothing. So that means, are we expecting a 250 pip move? No, but if we get a 20, 30, 40 or 50 pip move, we'll take it. And why not? Because it's there to be taken. The higher time frames will offer you your targets and your sensible sort of availability for your money. Basically, that's the reality. I'm looking across the board here. I've got the 6 screens. I've got GB dollar on the 5 minute, still below the middle Bollinger. So would I have bought him? No. 5 minute EU above the middle Bollinger. So would I have bought him? Yes, I can buy him, and that's a nice buy. Can I do anything with him? I've got a little buy on the go, but I'd like to see the PSAR flip because the 5 minute it's below 2 red super trends, but we have rejected the 3 minute. Sorry. let's say the higher time frame, we have rejected a 987 EMA and we're above the middle Bollinger and an R3. So if anything, I'd like to see a PSAR flip before I went back into a buy on him. Do I like PSARs? Of course, yeah. That's why I've put them on there. Look, they're super duper PSARs. They're really nice. Lots of people use them. They're very, very, very helpful. Can we see range? Some funny colours and red. We can see range with this ribbony type thing. PSARs above. If you flick to being above now we've got a sell. Is it with trend or counter trend? It's counter trend. Do we expect a big target or not? No, we don't expect a big target. But would we sell it? Well, it's a signal, so yeah, we'd sell it. There is or shouldn't be any doubts, issues, or grey areas with the strategies that we're using and trading. The doubts, issues, and grey areas come from your own internal conflict. You have it, you face it, you take it on the chin each and every day, and you know you're definitely not missing the indicators. You can all explain the indicators back to me. Well, most of you actually. There's a few of you who can't, which is a bit saddening because it means you've never ever really done your lesson 5 homework. It wasn't padding. There was a serious reason why we had that in there. It was a very good piece of homework to be done and to do. And had you done it, you would be a bloody happy camper by now. Some of you didn't. It is what it is. What's that? There's a target 65.22 on the cards from Dan for a sell. It's up at 65.51. When did you put that up there? That was at 9:19. So just 2 minutes ago. That's the 2 a.m. price then, I guess. Okay. So if we get a sell signal, 65.22 would be the target based on the 2 a.m. price. But as you know, you can't sell it without a sell signal, can you? That would be like madness. And actually, it's already been to 65.22. It's hovered around it here. So after the open, it did. I don't know. I'm not sure that what you've written, Dan, is every valid anymore. Never mind. It is what it is. You've posted it, so I won't pretend I understand what you mean. And that should help you all. I sometimes don't understand what you mean. If you don't understand what I mean, by all means, do question it. But a 65.22 target, I don't know what I'm looking at there on his picture. Haven't we already seen that? 65.22. Anyone else seeing that? 65.47, 65.22. Does it have to come after 9? I don't know. I think it's already been there. Or does he mean off the double top? I think he does, but I think 65-64 is quite doable because that's the R4. Now, that will be my views, but that's based on I'm seeing a buy signal. The PSAR's flipped. If they flip, okay, that's a losing trade. Absolutely, there will be losers. What do we know about it? The 5 minute don't concur, or the 3 minute, sorry. The 3 minute don't concur. So is it the strongest trade in the world? No, it ain't. When we look at these 6 screens and the other 6 screens, the euro dollar, the 3 minute concurs. The DAX, the 3 minutes in buy concur mode. I'll make that a bit bigger. The Dow is in range mode. The dollar CAD's in sell mode. The GU is nearly in sell mode. So that's the reality of what we're looking at. We're battling a round number. We've got reasons for range, haven't we? We were also battling a round number with the Dow some time ago. We were battling 30,000 and we powered right up through it off of that signal. Nice signal, actually. I did buy some of that myself. That's it. So, I'm going to repeat. We've no real sensible reason to be battling other than with our own internal conflict. And that's why I look at this ribbon type jobby, lads, because that kind of thing is meant to take away your internal conflict. That's it. It takes away your decision making, your oh, what am I going to do now kind of thought process. That tells you what you're going to do now and all. That's the deal. That's the plan with it. And yes, you can mess with the settings on it. You can clobber all of them if you need to. Clobber. They're all the slower ones, and we go into them. Where we've got a 13 and there's an 8 in there. We could go 13 and 1.5, and then that's our regular jobbies, isn't it? Our 13 and our 1 and our 13 and our 1.5. What are you then? You're the 5 and the 1. I'm going to get rid of you. And there, that's as simple as it needs to be. That's basically now Peter's setup. And are you in the buy? You're in the buy. Did you make money? Did you go into the sell? It's an RT and you were looking for 5 pips. You probably didn't get your 5 pips. You might have got out with a small break even and all. And if you went into this one, well, he was still red, but he's above. You might still be nursing it. There's a lot of mites in there, but that's on you. Did you? Didn't you? What did you did? Oh, bugger. I've just clobbered it all there, for Adam, but I can tell you what I'll do. I'll do this. Get ready. Hang on, I don't want to speak it. Oh, fuck off. Bloody. I'm trying to, yeah, Siri, thanks for that. Copy, notes, delete, back. Sorry. Take me just a minute there. Delete, back, notes, enter, and WhatsApp, and oh, come on, paste. Boom, there you go. Nice one. There you go. Thanks for that. Andrew's got the picture. But there it is, ribboning, and you can put a PCR on that. You shouldn't be too disappointed. Nice one. Is it necessary? No. Should you use it? It's you. Do you know? You know what I mean? Mr. Beginning, is this a new setup for battlers? Hi Mark, sort of. It's being recorded, so don't worry. It's a setup that might help those with no discipline. That's all I'm looking to do. Help people without discipline. Now, here's what I think of it. It was all on there. I haven't saved it. Boom, it's gone. I don't need to save it. What do I need? That's my 4-hour setup. That there is enough for me. But I've got discipline. I'm all right with me discipline. I know what I'll be looking at. And you see the way this line is blue? Well, he would have helped me hold on to that. He stayed blue on the other time frame, on the 3 minute that I use. And all. It's a kind of how much discipline have you got? Is basically your are you going to win or not? Are you a trader or not? How much discipline have you got? That's the question you need answered. How much discipline have you got? And remember, I did say some moments ago 65, 64 would probably be my target from this, and then I'd want to be locking in near it and breaking about above it. I'd be aiming for 66.04. Why? Well, because that's the next Camarilla level up, and that's how I do things. I do things according to indicators on the screen, not according to anything resembling an opinion that I may or may not hold, because I guarantee you, a pound to a pinch of dog poo, my opinion ain't right, ever and all. There's no grey areas or issues with that. That's it. I'd be wrong. I like the ribbon up. It could be good for equities, absolutely, David, absolutely. By all means, set it up and check it against our this. That's our regular equities jobby, and let us know. By all means, let's see. I call this one Equit 8, and I'm going to go titles, arguments, and see what we've got on there. We've got a super trend of 13 and 1.5. Okay. I don't think we need a 13 and 1, but you know what I might do to be on the safe side is add one to C, add and C, SUP. I really think it would be surplus to requirements. Do we need him? Not really. Would he get us in and out quicker? He might indeed. So I might leave him on for the time being. An EMA 13, got you invisible. Do we need you? No. Inner Bollinger Bands for range. Do we need you? 20, oh no, that's the yellow line. Remember what he's for. Sorry, he's for the Americans. The Americans have a double yellow line in the middle. Um, Okay, so yeah, there you go. I might leave him there. I won't rename Equitate by any means yet, but we're going to be looking at that on a Thursday, sorry, a Wednesday evening in our equities trading club, basically. And I think Footsie is well on his way now to my 60. Yeah, look at that, 66, 65, 64 was the target I was looking for, thinking of, aiming for. On its way. So, as usual, I'll give you a chance to ask any questions, give some comments, feedback. Feel free to unmute if you have any big ones or any issues that you need covered here today. Let's, by all means, think about covering them. Some of you really need to think about trend. For sure, you need to think about trend because you're not. Or if you are, it don't show in the messages that you send to me. You know? Why did this one go against me? It was counter trend. And look at this. It went against me. And then the trend trade, and it looks a terrible signal. It's brilliant signal. What's wrong with you? It had divergence, rejection of a line, PCR outside. What's wrong with that? It was a beautiful signal. You know? 65, 61 ish, needs a few more pips. What period setting to use for the linear regression forecast? I've got 8s on these. I believe he's an 8. Is he an 8? Oh, come on, where are you on there? Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to have to do is do common. I believe I've got 8s on there. The 8 goes quicker. Apply. Oh, he's a 13 on there. Okay, he's a 13 on there. Now it was 8 on that one. On the 6 screen layout, I've got an 8 and a 13. You see that one's an 8 and that one's a 13. That's why I thought he was a 13. So you know what I might do is I might make them 8s. I'm going to do them to 8s. Because 8's the one I've got on with the 2 lines. Quite like him there. And he's on a weighted close.
While you're doing that, I just wanted to say real quick that I've also played with that linear regression intercept.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kind of cross, they work opposite of each other. So if you were to add one on the screen with the same period, you can see when they cross and don't cross. So it's kind of like, when people say the 55 and 144 EMAs cross. And it's also almost similar to like the Bollinger Band functionality when you look at them together where they cross with the movement. It might, just be worth
Does
swapping.
it generate the pullback?
Yes, actually, it depends on the length of the settings that you have for them. Obviously, like 8, it'll show stuff as opposed to like 55. But if you put like the linear regression intercept on there and do it with the same thing, it'll be a different. You'll see the line kind of moves opposite the forecast, but then they kind of move together. It's like the Bollinger Bands when they're first expanding.
Okay.
Just something to play with in your spare time. I kind of noticed that this past week, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." I keep one like one color and the other one a different color. That makes it easier for me to see.
Yeah.
So the intercept is the exact opposite of the forecast. So when the forecast is kind of going up, the intercept should be going down, and vice versa.
Okay. So where these started to go up now, that means price is going to come down.
A little bit, yeah. It looks like it's not moving as it's like the Bollinger Bands. It's not as volatile or not moving as much.
Okay.
That's the way I was interpreting it just from looking at them this past weekend.
All right. Well, I'll clobber him for the moment and have a proper look at him at some stage. I might change his number to an 8 just on there, just so that they're the same. Alrighty, and then in between gives you range. I'll save him as default there for now, and then I'll clobber him for the minute because too much on there it'll just get people confused. Middle Bollinger Rule for currency, it's a 5 minute chart and a 2 minute. I've got a 2 minute for the trigger there, and I've got a 5 minute for the direction on the currency. I've got a 1 minute for a trigger on the index, and a 3 minute for a direction on the index there. That answers that one. Linear regression forecast. Yeah, me too, Mark. I like the linear regression. He's nice. He's from Rory. Remember, Rory researched and added him on. We came within a fart of hitting the 65, 64, and then broke south, and there was some bearish divergence. So that was fair and acceptable, and you'd have locked in. Um, Ken's using the 13.1, 13.15 STs. If just the 13.1 flicks and flicks back, would you consider that to be a new signal? Um, Show me a when. Give me a when. A when. If it flicks and flicks back, you see, you mean like that, where it's gone red. If it goes green again, yeah, I'm allowed to buy. I'm not allowed to sell while he's green, though. If that's what you mean, I'd be allowed to sell there. Technically, I'm allowed to sell, but it's counter trend. They've both flicked red. Does that answer you, Ken, or are we have we crossed wires somewhere? Yeah, Shane, but don't worry, it's recorded. It's all recorded. I didn't look at gaps. That's only on that on the ribboning. You'll see there's a picture on the group there from Andrew Preddy of that what you call it, the ribboning chart I placed, and there's also the settings for it. And basically, if there's tracking, if they're all the same color, there's no range. If price is above or below, no range. If one of them has got a gap and the price is in between the gap, then you're looking at range basically. Sort of. I've not used the 13 and the 1 up until now. It's quite nice, that 13 and the 1 setup, Ken. It's a Peter's tweak, and I do like it. It's a really nice setup. You can, basically, that is for Shane and for Ken. Um, Basically factoring in like that linear regression line, the two super trends, and a PSAR, you've got your cloud and your range and everything, and it's kind of, all the discipline is right there. But I think you're already there with your discipline now, Shane. You seem to be spot on in terms of how you look at it, what you're prepared to take, what you're prepared to risk and do, and what have you. Um, and there's just, there's some others that really need to catch up with you, basically. Dems would be my views anyway. Spotting range, big deal. Spotting price going the same way, big deal, or absence of range. Spotting trend, that's the word I'm looking for. Spotting a trend. Like when we looked at that higher time frame there and we said, okay, we broke below that trend line that I've since deleted. So have we gone into a sell trend? Not until we break below the middle Bollinger, because he outranks my line. My line is just some random line that I drew. It's my opinion. My opinion is what? Bloody worthless. That's the reality. I should have left that line on there, really, shouldn't I? I might put him back on just because I might want him at a later date. So he's going to go from there, and he went up through those two bottoms. I'll bring him up there through those bottoms and leave him there. I'm going to leave that line on for a day or two more and see what happens with it. Yeah, trend isn't difficult to spot. It's really easy to spot. I don't know if you watched Paul's webinar yesterday. Sadly, I missed it. But Paul talked about trend last week, and I posted the link on the group his webinar. A trend shouldn't be that difficult to spot. If it is so difficult for you to spot, you might not be in the right game, as he put. And I think you can learn to spot trend. It shouldn't be that difficult. You know, on Peter's setup, we got a 21 EMA going up above a 55 EMA. For me, price above it is enough. Price above it, that'll do. Price above a 55, a middle Bollinger, and you know what else? What else could I possibly need? A higher time frame. Well, my higher time frame doesn't disagree, and if my higher time frame doesn't disagree, who the hell am I to disagree? As the man said, who am I to blow against the wind? We shouldn't be doing it if we are. That's the reality. And you might remember some moments ago I said, yes, that would be a sell signal. Counter trend, all right. Are there 5 pips in it? And remember, that's pretty much all Peter would be looking for from a CT trade. What is it? An RTF, reverse trigger finger. Are there 5 pips in it from the minute it went below the middle Bollinger Band? Yes. What's the problem then? Why aren't we all super duper wealthy by now and rich and trading on a round table basis whereby we can watch the likes of this and someone can wake me up if I'm not watching a DAX. There's a DAX trade, James. There's this trade, James. You know, that's what we're looking for. Relevance of the middle line in 5 or 2 minute charts for currency. Still trend. It's just trend. Trend, trend, trend. Price above it, price below it. Trend. 741 on the FTSE. 741 on the FTSE. 741 is what you talk about. It flicks and flicks back. I remember the thing. It flicks and flicks back. Yeah, that would be a continuation buy. Yeah, well, that's it. You can't sell it because the other one stayed green. You could buy it again. Absolutely, no problem. But ideally, you'd be clever enough to see that the new buy signal comes with its own set of headaches. Look at that there. All right, cheers, Dave. Enjoy. Be safe. Say hi from me. You see that, Ken? Do you see the HH over the LH? So if you did buy it again, you'd be locking in tight and getting out with a break even or a very small gain. That's the reality. Yes, we were talking on the same plane then, Ken. I thought that's what you were thinking, and yeah, like because you see there, he flicked red, but then he flicked red as well, so you're in a sell. Target 55 EMA. Do you get 5 pips off it? Probably not quite on that one. That one might be the loss, but you got them on that one. And there is no way you're ever going to get full on 100% win rate all day, every single day of the week. It's just not going to happen. But you should get a lot of them. You know, you really should. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we are in the midst of a no deal, no rules, potentially Brexit, and they keep changing the rules by the minute, and that's affecting GB dollar, and it's affecting FTSE, and it's affecting a lot of things. So, you know, all of those things are affected and are issues, and we should be well aware of the excess news that's coming out as a result. We've still got US election hassle in that Trump ain't made his mind up yet that he's buggering off. Biden hasn't made his mind up yet that he's in without a hassle at all. You know, so there's all those problems that existed at the beginning of September or mid-September when I mentioned them. Well, they're still there, lads. All those problems are still very, very, very relevant, prevalent, and issues. That's it. Those issues remain in place. No, no doubts, grey areas, nothing there. That's it. They are what they are. And we should remember that, and we should be careful of it, and we should be exceptionally cautious and not allow ourselves to be caught out by some, wild ass random fakey. And you know, have that mentality that, oh, it's going to come back, it's going to come back. That mentality really needs to be kicked into touch, and we need to be well aware and well awake and well ready for what we're looking at, because we're meant to be versatile professional traders. And then we can look at round table scenario. We can look at all getting on board the same kind of, levels and the same kind of plan, until I stop getting messages like that. Oh, I took a sell there and it went against me, and it's a sell right above a 55 EMA, and you wonder why it went against you. Really? I mean, fucking really. But that's what people are sending me. That's the reality of what people are sending me. And then there was a buy that wasn't so strong. The PSAR was outside the Bollinger Bands. How is that not so strong? How did you not know that? How did you not see that? How did you not be all over that? How? How on earth were you not all over that like a don't know what? And yeah, until those kind of messages stop coming through, until my purple line is pink and yours is purple, until those questions have gone, basically until everyone's done their lesson 5 homework and is up to speed and wide awake, we can never operate the round table, because always we'll be dragged backwards into the dark ages of my red line. All my bars are red, all my bars are green, and I don't remember how to. It's just a tech issue. Use a different charting platform, use them all, get to know what they do and how they work, and just do it. It is right there to be done, and it's very easily doable. That's the reality. Um, we need everybody to be wide awake, though. Traders must be awake if they're going to trade and make money. If they're not, then they won't, and that's the reality. You won't drive asleep, will you? You'll have an accident. You'll crash into something, and that it is what it is. It happens. You may take it on the chin. So why trade asleep? And by asleep, I mean uneducated. You need to have absolutely everything that there is, in your armory, finely tuned, well sharpened, and ready to go. That's it. Should be no doubt, issues, grey areas on that. And until we get that level from our team, if you like, we're sort of a bit caught. Hope you all know what I mean. I'm not really picking on you at all. What I'm doing is saying there's a level we need to be at, and we're not there yet. And we're not there yet because some of you won't sort of push yourself that extra little yard. It's only a yard. Push yourself that extra little yard, and learn the last little bit that needs learning, understand what there is to be understood, and then start making the money. That's it. It is there to be done. It's very, very doable. And I know you can all do it. Absolutely every single one of you is very well capable of doing it. Um, it's not a complex thing. We're just looking at indicators and we're questioning them. We're looking at that now. Look at the Dow and the DAX going up. Why isn't the FTSE going up? Well, the FTSE's got Brexit on its tail, hasn't it? The FTSE's got these problems, but if they're going up, it should go up, or they're coming back down. And that's the general rule of thumb. We just need to remember that there is a Brexit, there is a Boris Johnson, there is a European Union, and they are all generating problems and issues for us, and we should be aware of those, and because of them, be extra careful. That's all. It shouldn't be a difficult thing. What have we got news-wise today? An Italian trade balance, tentative, nothing else till the afternoon. It's all yellow flag today. BO, Bank of Canada, Governor speaking. Any other speakers? Can't see any other speakers. So should be anything serious. We should be able to trade the technicals as we see them. That's the reality. Dow's flying, DAX is flying. FTSE there should be following suit and all. Them's would be my views anyway. Questions, comments, thoughts, feedback? Will I end the recording and we'll stay and watch to see if the FTSE does join suit? What we'll be looking for next is a break above the middle. You mentioned an entry at 30.67, John Kate. Well done. Did you take it? I was watching the FTSE, sadly, but nice one. Well done, you. Excellent, guys. You know, we're not really capable of being caught out here as a group. We're really not. This is, it's all simple, basic stuff, and we should all be taking a lot more money than we are taking. That's the reality. So I'm going to end the recording with a trade safe, and I'll see you all on the next live webinar. And then I'm going to leave the webinar open, and we'll watch this footsie, see if it goes back to 65, 64, which was the target I called earlier. Again, enjoy, trade safe. Bye, guys. That's just for the recording.